sun came bursting in. All's well through a certain lens, but it sure is tense, unearthing gems to bend to our earthly whims. The pressure that we circumvent, the bread served in a circus tent. I got fear to shed like serpent skin. When it rears its head, birds ascend through the nerves and tendons, through the firmament and take root in the third dimension. For the burgeoning seeds in the trench, but the words on the leaflet are dense. Herculean attempts to move even an inch. You can see the resent in a deeper intent. Anyhow, in the boughs on the crowded street, I can see for 1,000 miles. You can rant till the cows arrive or merge word of flesh and walk down the aisle. Been around for a minute now, looking out for my inner child. Been about what I've been about. When in doubt, go a different route. Slow it down like Swish your house. If it goes south, I'll retain the highest hopes. I don't fish for cosigns on either coast. I put the whole wide world under microscope. Break it down to protons and isotopes. You already, all day, every. It all pans out, but it all weighs heavy. The fire's stoked, but don't fly too close. I'll treat it with the deep reverence when I approach. That right there, quite rare, a moment of peace, a stillness to heal the sick, a flower in the wilderness, in the field with the thorns and the birds of prey, and the light so bright you avert your gaze. All I have's words of praise for a calm that repairs every nerve that's frayed. Anyhow, for my next trick, I'll pull myself out from a cesspit and head straight for the exit. Exodus, out like 3 strikes in the catcher's mitt. God bless the kid and keep him young, even with bad knees and receding gums. Lead him through the dark of night and false light when the cold wind speaks in the secret tongue. Guide the youth, keep them fit, don't let them overheat when they're feverish. Water all the plants, feed the fish, see the universe in a petri dish. Teach an old flea bit dog a new trick to tighten up screws with the proper toolkit and watch the mood shift, good as new. Big up yourself for the good you do. That right there, quite rare, a moment of peace, a stillness to heal the sick, a flower in the wilderness, in the field with the thorns and the birds of prey, and a light so bright you avert your gaze. All I have's words of praise for a calm that repairs every nerve that's frayed.
Words are the bridges we build to reach each other. They can bring an idea spun into space and held up to the whole human race.
Peace, 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 peace.
No, why, it's dead. I hear a woman weeping. Let's go closer.
Chasing that farewell tour, they don't love you like that.
danger here. But what? It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead.